I was going to hit her really hard on the trail today, but now I don't have to because she's off. She's off. No, I can't get over it. Who the hell takes off? We have 14 days left, and she'll take a couple of more days off, too. You know why? She's lazy as hell, and she's got that reputation.
Whoa, 2 weeks ago, a new NBC report, high anxiety, top Kamala campaign insiders afraid Trump is breaking through the Democrat blue wall in 3 top battleground states. A congressman from one of those states, Pennsylvania Congressman Dan Meuser, here to react. Also tonight, the self-described knucklehead is back.
You told me my grammar's not always correct.
And I'm a knucklehead at times.
I will own up to being a knucklehead at times.
Okay, Kamala Harris's running mate Tim Walz now claims Trump, quote, disrespected McDonald's workers after Trump worked the drive-thru there. This is the same Governor Tim Walz who let 7 major U.S. fast food chain stores burn to the ground during the 2020 riots. Tonight, Trump campaign press secretary Caroline Leavitt is here to take that on. We've got more Tim Walz gaffes and blunders coming in. Also tonight, Kamala Harris's campaign says she is flip-flopping back to her original ban on fracking and pausing and not expanding U.S. and oil and gas drilling. This right as Russia, Iran, China, and the BRICS push a new world order built on their energy dominance and to wipe out the almighty U.S. dollar. That will worsen inflation. Plus this story.
It's time to stop the lies, stop the hoaxes, stop the smears, stop the lawfare or the fake lawsuits against me.
Okay, the House Judiciary transcript is out. Former Georgia Fulton County Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade drops new revelations that no one was talking about or knew about, proving lawmakers' worst fears about lawfare court attacks against Trump. Tonight, attorney Horace Cooper takes it on, but first this. NBC News now reports insiders inside the Kamala Harris campaign are talking that Trump will crack the Democrat blue wall, that Trump could win Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, that Michigan and Wisconsin will fall to Trump. That would mean that even if Harris secures Pennsylvania, according to NBC, she would not reach the necessary 270 Electoral College votes to win the White House. Joining us now from House Financial Services, Pennsylvania Congressman Dan Meuser. Dan, Congressman, it's good to see you. What do you make of this? NBC cites 3 anonymous sources who know about Kamala's strategy. What is happening inside Pennsylvania right now?
Well, great to be with you, Liz. Well, we're surging. We really are. I mean, the Trump campaign, the Dave McCormick campaign, we have other statewides, our congressional campaigns. We're really working in parallel. We're all rowing in the same direction. You know, we have slightly different messages, but it's all about the same. It's all about strengthening our economy. It's all about border security. It's all about strengthening our national security. It's about advancing Pennsylvania. It's about controlling inflation, making things more affordable. It's about fracking, and it's about energy policy. I mean, it all makes so much common sense that the common man, if you will, and the common woman and everybody else out there is saying, you know, this is a good plan. This is a future I can believe in. And Kamala and Walz can't come up with anything new, right? They both said, well, we can't think of anything right now. Maybe we'll put a Republican in the cabinet. That'll be a big, great new idea. So they're offering nothing. And I'll just say this real quick, too. The lies, I just was just in my car and a radio ad, I'm telling you, it was 99% completely fictitious, completely false, completely fake. By the
do voters
Kamala
know that?
Harris,
what were they lying about? What do voters know in your state know about it?
Yeah, no, about Trump on Social Security. Somehow he's going to end Social Security. Meanwhile, he wants to change he wants to eliminate the taxes on Social Security. On how he's got some national sales tax that they're crazily talking about abortion. That he's going to have a national ban on abortion. All complete, utter lies, and they know it. They got nothing else.
Yeah, the propaganda is off the chain. It's off the hook this campaign season. The Trump campaign is saying Kamala took the entire day off today to prepare for 2 softball interviews. Okay, let's get to this. Kamala Harris held a town hall in Michigan with Liz Cheney. But now the question is, did she have the questions ahead of time? Because the moderator, Maria Shriver, told the audience the questions were, quote, predetermined. Now, town halls usually screen questions, but the question is, did she know about and help with the questions? Watch what happened.
Are we going to be able to answer questions? You're not, unfortunately. We have some predetermined questions, and hopefully I'll be able to ask some of the questions that might be in your head. Did you ever think in your wildest dreams that you would be running for president alongside Liz Cheney? How do you handle this, the anxiety, the stress, the turmoil? Everybody's freaked out. Do you sleep?
What can the U.S. do politically, economically, or militarily to deter Russia from continuing its war on the independent nation of Ukraine?
Back to the conversation about, there was a time when there was a phrase that I'll paraphrase, that basically politics ends at the sea line, at the boundaries of our country. That there are certain things, in particular matters of national security, where it's not about partisanship, it's about where should America stand in terms of supporting our allies and standing for certain principles.
Okay, that actually was turned into a 5-minute word salad answer. 5-minute answer on Russia. The big problem for voters is, do we want, let me back up. It's this, do we want word salads in the Situation Room when we're dealing with Russia, China, and Iran? I mean, she's vice president also. Why didn't she fix things now? And now you see this report out of The Hill. Now the Hill newspaper ran out a column saying Democrats are wondering, should they have just stuck it out with Joe Biden? I mean, doesn't Trump routinely take random questions? Voters want to know what she really thinks. But if she knew the questions in advance, she's simply, again, doing talking points. There's no opportunity to find out who she really is and how she'll handle and respond to situations on the fly.
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't start by saying she grew up in a middle-class family. Look, Trump is always taking questions. I was at a town hall with him in Lancaster just the other day. I mean, incredible level of questions. He was going all day, and then he was on Monday morning shows and on all kinds of things, from Fox to whoever will have him. So, look, Trump and J.D. Vance want America to know them and know what they'll do. And Waltz and Harris are desperately trying to make sure they don't know who they are and what they will do.
Congressman Meuser.
Look.
Yeah, finish your thought. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, people are going to get what they vote for. We really got to look at this. It's not just who's on the ballot, it's what's on the ballot, and who's going to deliver the type of America we're looking for versus a really radical individual who couldn't state that Jesus was Lord, for crying out loud. Told the audience they were at the wrong rally.
Got it. Congressman, thanks for joining us. Congressman Dan Meuser, good to see you.